Well, I went fishing down Newlyn's yesterday, and you're not going to believe what I discovered. Okay, what I discovered yesterday when using the drone was the ability to see all the weed beds. I could see all the channels between the weed beds. I could also see the old riverbed that was in certain areas really close to the shoreline. It was really intriguing footage, and if you're going to be like me, if you really study this footage, you might gain a bit of an insight into where you might have more success with your fly fishing on the lake. So we'll touch into that, we'll get into that footage straight away, and then a little bit later on I'll show you the footage of my fishing day, and we'll also touch on the different insects that are very prevalent within Newlyn's reservoir, and some of the flies that we can use to imitate them. And if any of you want to actually know how to tie these flies, just make mention of it in the comment section, and I'll endeavour to make a video of tying those flies. So let's get into the footage from the drone at Newlyn's reservoir yesterday. quite a lot, even further than this. And then last week we had 2 days of solid rain here, and it's brought it back up to the point where the water is now on the old road. And yeah, we'll see if it's the fish have come in to the old road or if they haven't. So let's go check it out. Alright. Yes, it's very clear. I'm amazed with that. There's not much water covering the weed beds. That could be a problem. So you definitely need a floating line. Alright. Let's give it a go. Now, the fly I've got on, well, I think everyone knows what fly will be on. If you don't watch my videos. It's the old bag fly. Casting into the wind, but it's a very light wind, shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. And as you can see, the wind is blowing to where it's very, very calm. It's a good day. Good day to fish. And I'm hitting those weeds. Alright. I'm going to go further along the old road. Maybe get some deeper water and some fish as well. So alright, with the power of editing, I'll be back very soon. Alright, a bit further up along the old road, and there's definitely more water above the weeds, but not by a great deal. And working a smelt pattern is a great idea, because to really work a smelt pattern effectively, we have to retrieve it with a bit of speed and a long draw. So you're sort of working the first foot of water and you retrieve like that. So alright, so while I'm fishing, we might just sit down and talk about the flies that'll work on Newlyn's reservoir on an all-year basis. What your insects you'll most likely come across, and what flies that you could use and what I would recommend. So let's sit down at the park bench over there and we'll do that while I'm fishing. The power of editing. Alright. Now we'll start this off firstly with just a small selection of flies that I could recommend and that I like to fish when fly fishing Newlyn's reservoir. Now let's make sure that you realise that there's a stack of different flies out there, and I'm not saying not to try other fly patterns, because you should, you know, and if you can come up with you know, new and sort of like new design flies, that'd be just fantastic. I do it a lot myself. I try and design some flies that I can actually fish and that become successful. But just with, if we start off with the first season, winter, we have 3 flies that I could recommend. Those 3 flies would be firstly the orange beadhead woolly bugger. Now as you can see, this woolly bugger with the orange bead is firstly a great colour. It's got the orange beadhead which adds the weight, and then we've got the olive green hackle that runs through the body, and then we have the marabou, olive green marabou feathers for the tail, and in between those marabou is a little bit of olive green tinsel that really sparkles. Now this fly, as you can see, the tail is very long. The reason I tie my tails long is because I don't want my tail to wrap around the hook. Now there's a disadvantage and an advantage to every fly that you do use, and having a long tail, we have the advantage of not wrapping around the hook, but we have the disadvantage of short takes. Sometimes the trout will come up and just nip it at the tail and you'll miss them on the strike. But I tend to find trout will woof these flies down whole, and you'll catch more fish than you do lose. That's only my experience. So a olive green woolly bugger with the orange bead at the front, great pattern. Next fly is the Tom Jones. Now the Tom Jones is a fly that is again olive green, has the 2 tufts of wallaby fur there and the black squirrel tail. That's the actual tie. There's a whole host of different Tom Jones flies, and there's even the original Tom Jones tied by John Lanchester, who was the person who originated or created the Tom Jones, and he has actually a whole different range of Tom Joneses that he uses when he fishes the lakes around the Ballarat district. So the Tom Jones, and this is in about a size 10 hook, is the best one. And then lastly for the winter flies is the bag fly. The bag fly is a ripper. I learned how to tie this bag fly at the Sunshine Fly Casting Club when I was a member 35, maybe 40 years ago, and a gentleman there by the name of Ron Masson showed me how to tie this bag fly. I tied it up and I fished it, and I've had a lot of success with it, especially at Newlyn's, and it's an absolute ripper. So that's the third fly that I could recommend. So for the winter time, definitely the woolly bugger, the Tom Jones and the bag fly. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed that segment on what insects prevail on this lake and what flies are best to use to imitate them. It's only a recommendation, like I said in the segment, but yeah. Now I've come to a section here, and I'll turn the camera down just a little bit. I don't know whether there's a problem there, but if you look down in the water, whoa, this section here is really clear of any weed beds. A really deep water. So that's one for the memory banks. Yeah, and I haven't worked it yet, so I'll put out a smelt pattern, work the smelt pattern, see how I go with it. Looks fishy, you know what I mean? You get certain parts of the lake where you think, yeah, it's got to be a fishy. Casting short, working it in close to shore. Just for those cruisers that could be out and about along the wall. Do another short one. Let's get out a bit further. Off the reel. I'm really going to persevere here. I really am. Let's come back a little bit later on, people. Alright. Now I've given this deep section along this dam wall a good working over with my bag fly, which we can see right there. Let's put the camera down a little bit. You can see the bag fly. Now I'm going to try a different fly, one that'll get down deeper and has a little bit of an attractive colour to it. So we'll take out my fly box. This is where I store all my wets. Yeah. Now, I don't know if we can see that pretty good, but as you can see here, I've got quite a different range now. I'm going to try this fly. It's a woolly bugger with an orange bead head. It's a really good fly. It's caught me a lot of fish in a lot of different waters. But here in Newlyn it doesn't work as good. But in saying that, we should give it a try, because that orange bead could attract these trout. You know what I mean? They could be sniffing after eggs, and that bead could imitate an egg to them floating in the water. Who knows? So put this on, and we'll see how it goes. The old orange beadhead woolly bugger. Alright, So I've got the blue bugger tied on, and now I'm going to wet it, make sure it's saturated with some water. Alright, now as you can see, when we wet it, which is a beautiful profile, and that, as you can see, I've got a really long tail there. Now there's always an advantage and a disadvantage to everything. A long tail stops it from wrapping around the hook, but you can sometimes get short little takes. They'll just nip the tail and you won't connect to them. But most of the time they sort of wolf it down anyway, so yeah, we'll give this a try. Let's get that out there. Again, not too far out, just short. Work what's out in front of you. Now this is going to get down deep because that is a tungsten bead. So we're going to have to give it a swift retrieve. And this wind's picked up big time. Nice short retrieve there. Alright, let's get out a little bit further. Hard to cast these heavy flies in against the wind, very hard. That's where you need to employ the single haul or even the double haul. If you don't know how to do that, learn. Trust me, you'll be happy you did. God, still difficult. And this wind has definitely picked up. Well, this wind has increased from 5 knots to about 15, and which I wasn't expecting. But anyway, with the power of editing, we'll come back if we have any success. Well, I didn't have any more success, but that's fishing, and it's not all about catching trout. We can gain a lot of knowledge from a number of other factors. So Until next time, good fishing and see you then.